NBA trade talks plenty. Plus, Tillman Fertitta might have a revolt on his hands inside the Rockets. The Baseball Hall of Fame ballot is out. And we need to talk about Xbox availability. Plus, I'm going to help you quit porn. No, seriously. All that and more right now on Barry on Deck. Let go!
Live from the BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat. Written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack, featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
What's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you and your prompt attendance, even though I'm usually a little couple minutes late, maybe, sometimes, every day now. Okay, listen, I'm not a good planner. What do you want from me, folks? Thank you guys for being here. I got a fun show planned for you today. Lots to talk about, lots to get to. Lots of sports because the NBA decided in the last 24 hours that they wanted to be relevant again with the trade deadline and everything else going on. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. We got some steroid guys, allegedly, on the ballot that we need to figure out if they're going to make it or not. Tillman Fertitta legitimately has an issue, so we'll talk about that as well. We're also going to discuss Xbox availability. And kiddos, I'm not going to lie to you. Daddy is sitting in the queue, thanks to P. Jones and his Discord. I'm sitting in the queue waiting to get this PlayStation. Let me show you right here. Look at that. I'm in the queue. If you think for one single solitary second I'm backing out of this goddamn queue in the middle of a show, you have lost your ever-loving mind. I'm staying there, and I don't give a shit if in 22 minutes a PlayStation pops into my cart. We're going to break, and I'm checking out. I don't give a damn. We're just going to have to make that sacrifice for one day, folks, okay? So let me back this out a little bit here. Lots to get to. We got to start with the chat, and I hate to tell you this, folks. I missed it today. I posted it, and then I was in the middle of doing something, posted the page, and then forgot to go look and grab a screenshot. So what I can tell you is, the first person I see is Cece. That might not be right. Because Cece's usually here, but not the first one here. I wonder if I can go back to the beginning. Is that a thing? Can I do that? Let's see here. Let me go to, here, I'm going to share my screen with you again. This is what I see when I do the YouTube thing. So this is what it looks like. Like, this is my dashboard, okay? And what I normally do is I come in here and I click on the live show, and then it shows me all this stuff. And thank God my stream key is hidden. But it shows me that this was the first one. See, at 1:58. So I didn't even get it in time. I need to do it's not happening. So sorry, whoever was first. I missed it. Lord, I apologize. That's my bad. That's on me. I gotta be a better host. I disappointed whoever was first. Jeff Bell with the first super chat though. And he hit it with a $5 and said nope. So I'm going to guess, first of all, thank you for popping the super chat and cherry today, Jeff. Your generosity is always appreciated. All of you. I'm going to guess Jeff Bell wasn't first, but he was blocking the Triple Crown because he wants to hold the record for the most Triple Crowns. I love how petty you guys are. God damn it, it's the best. It is the best. So I guess Cece was first, maybe? I don't know. Oh, God, it's the best. But Jeff Bell, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I thought there was one more, and I fear I've missed it. I feel like I missed a super chat. Ooh, that's going to bother me if I did. I don't know how to go back. If you sent one, please let me know. I want to give you credit for it, but I think while I was prepping, a super chat popped up, and I don't think it was Jeff Bell's, though I'm not sure. Oh, Wallace, you were first, buddy. Congrats, man. Congrats. That's that good. I'm sorry I missed it, man. It was a little hectic. I got a little excited when I made it into the PlayStation queue. Okay, so we do have to let's do the shats. Let's do the chat since we're already here. Cece's in the building. I see her. Jeff Bell is here. The Reverend Lord Chris Householder. By the way, you're not the only Lord that's a deckhead now, House. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know this. Francisco Abarca is a Lord now. Wallace Wilt's in the building. Jesus Perez, what's up, Playboy? Justin Swinford, my mama told me I'm always first. Rick C in the building. Keith Sager is here. Clarence Marshall, what's up? Walt, Truck and Taco, I dig it. Uriel Villanueva is here. Sydney, hello. Sid. Total Dallas is in the building. My sweet, sweet Donna. How are you? She says, howdy, gang. Chris Reyes. Jen. Thank you, Jen, for your updates. Always appreciated. You keep me on track. P. Jones, thank you for the link, buddy. Welcome to the chat. Rudolph Rodriguez, you goddamn right. Sanitizer, wash hands, social distance. Keep your shit together, folks. PayPal Pete, what up, Jay? Sandoval H-Town truck driver Pookie Mark Groppy is here. I got Clarence already. G-Man, what's up, dog? Aaron J. Bryan is here. The gang is all here. We're out of chat time. Let's keep rolling, okay? Let's keep rolling because I got a lot of show updates for you today. By the way, cue check. 16 minutes. 16 minutes until disappointment. Sounds like my sex life. If I had a nickel for every time Nora said that. 16 minutes until disappointment. That's kind of how we don't when we give each other signals, it's just like, you ready for some disappointment? She's like, you know I am. All right. What did I miss? Barry hit what? A lot of screw house going on. Barry hit escape. I will push you past the queue. No, I'm not hitting escape, you dirty man, Sergio. You trying to fuck me up in my queue. You trying to screw me in the queue, bro. That was terrible. That was terrible. Oh, it was Sandoval and H-Town that sent a super chat? God damn it, and I missed it. Sandoval, please tell me what you posted. I can't believe that. If I go back to the queue, it doesn't show me. P. Jones said, you might as well close it, bro. I was in the queue trying to buy one and got through, but it sold out. Well, shit. Son of a bitch. Why do you allow these things to happen, young man? Why do you get my hopes up, P. Jones? 6 minutes until your next beard die? Oh, you dirty son of a... It looks awful, by the way. Look at that. That is disgusting. My wife has to look at this. Look at that. Look how awful that is. I'm doing this for the vets, just so you know. If you're wondering why I look like this, and you're just tuning in, you're like, why does this homeless man have a YouTube show? I have committed to No Shave November at the end of the month. On the last day of the last weekday of the month of November, I'm going to shave everything off except my very predatorish mustache, my very child molesterish mustache. And then the chat and the deckheads are going to roast me for 2 hours, but they've got to pay to roast me. They're going to donate money, roast the shit out of me, and I'm going to take all that money and donate it to a veteran's cause. And I would like to say that Francisco Abarca had donated, Barry, I think your beard missed a spot, you son of a... Francisco Abarca donated $10 for that cause. We're up to now $45 that has been donated in advance of that day of roasting. Okay, Sylvia has donated already. Donna has donated already. Francisco, and then one more. I wrote it all down. Where the hell did I write it down? Yeah, Sylvia, Donna. I don't know who else, but we had another $5 in there. But Francisco roasted me on the Discord. Said I look like a chimney sweep, like I got soot on my face. But then he sent me $10 on Venmo today. So thank you, Francisco. I'm going to put that towards the veterans cause that we're going to be donating to at the end of the month. So I appreciate your generosity, and you can go fuck yourself, Lord Francisco, by the way. Steven the Weather Guy said, that's my beard day 1. I know, this is day 17. Can you believe this shit? It's November 17th, and this is all I have. This is it. This is all I've got. Jen said, I'm pulling a list of donation causes for us. Please do, Jen. I'd like to pick a really good one. I don't want to do a Wounded Warrior Project. I want to do one that not a lot of people donate to necessarily. So that, you know, like Wounded Warrior gets a ton of donations. They're very public. Plus, they run commercials. And a lot of times when I see that, it costs a lot of money to run commercials to accept donations. And it just seems like this vicious cycle of spending money. So I want to find a good cause that really has an impact on veterans directly. Like, if, you know, when you donate $1, $1 goes to the vets. So we'll find one, and we'll get a good one that the money will be used as best as possible for you guys. So we're going to look into that. And Jen, I appreciate your help on that. As always, you guys. Also, some other show updates. Hey, pause for the cause, everybody. We need to take a second and wish D-Mata happy birthday. That's for you, buddy. Y'all, please stop for a second in the chat and wish my guy, Demetrius Mata, a very, very happy birthday. And now I know why you sent this, buddy. All right, I gotta open this here. We're doing a shot for D Mata. D, get your drink out. Put your dick up, get your drink out. Let's do this. Oh my God, I have so much trash. It looks like a homeless person lives here. That's a lot of tequila to shoot. I'm gonna put this in the shot glass. D Mata, I hope you got your drinks out, buddy. Where you at? What was weird? What was weird? Let's see if this is a regulation shot. I don't think this is a regulation shot. Look at this. This son of a bitch tried to trick me, y'all. No, Wallace, listen. Damn it. Homeless people can't be clean. I mean, I've never seen a clean homeless person. So, where's D-Mata at? Is he here? Is he here? There he is. It's already out. Yeah, dick's out and shots up. I don't know. Listen, D-Mata. I have nice things to say about D-Mata because D-Mata was a suspect before he was a deckhead. Dude is super supportive, and I will say his generosity, kindness, and thoughtfulness is second to none. He has been a guy who has always sent myself and Joel and Nick thoughtful gifts, and like if he knows I haven't seen a movie, he'll send me the movie. Just one of the many things that D-Mata does on a daily basis for myself and others that he supports. So, Demetrius, buddy, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get roadhead or a hand job or whatever it is you're into. Love you, buddy. Thank you, and I hope that you have a fantastic happy birthday. Enjoy. Shoot that bitch. Boy, that Don Julio is smooth. Well, that's dangerous. And it's tequila at 2:15 in the afternoon. Who cares? We're getting shit-faced, folks. Let's go. All right. Not yet. Not yet. I'm just really thoroughly upset that I missed somebody's super chat because I know if you guys take the time to be generous, I want to make sure that you get recognized for it. So what I'm going to ask is that you bear with me for a second because I think I have a second way to determine. Oh, we've added a few subscribers, by the way, gang. We just passed 2650. We were at 2648 a bit ago. Let me take a second to find this super chat that was sent today so that it doesn't just bother the shit out of me. Of course, it's not here today. It'll probably be after the show is posted. Okay, well, I owe somebody a shout out, and God damn it, you're going to get your shout out. So I got Jeff Bell. We'll get there. Okay, now, I do have another update for you guys. I got, by the way, this is the other update here. Okay, you did only see the one super chat, Rev. Thank you, buddy. I always count on my mods. You guys are awesome. By the way, give it up for Chris Householder and Jeremy Binniger and Luis Zelaya. Those are our YouTube chat moderators, and they do a fantastic job. And by the way, Brandon Martinez and Jen do a fantastic job moderating the Discord, and PK does an amazing job moderating my Twitch. So thank you all for helping me moderate this shit and keeping all the spam out. You see that? You see these? These... On Veterans Day, Cece wanted to buy shot glasses for everybody, but she was out of pocket and was unable to do it. And I wasn't going to let her spend her money anyways. So what I said is, since Cece was out of pocket, what I was going to do is just every single piece of Barry on Deck swag that I have, I would throw in a bag and mail to all the vets that took roll call on the Discord. So if you were a member of the Patreon and you were on the Discord and you served this country and defended our freedom and fought for my right to do shit like this, I wanted you to know I love you and I appreciate you. So the 10 of you that said you were a vet on Discord, the stuff is in the mail. All right, I'm going to go drop this off today. So I've got the roll call. Where did it go? Even in the Navy. Yes, even in the Navy house, you son of a bitch. Offhand, I remember Black Sheep, Crystal Collins, White Magic, Marvin Wingfield, Aaron Little. Who else? Lisa O, Manny, of course, Robert Likes Beer, Terrence Guidry, and Mash Your Taters. So all of you guys, you got a full set of Barry on Deck swag. Now, I was 2 masks short. Cece, I didn't send her one because she has masks already. And then I think Terrence, I didn't send you a mask because I know you just bought one. So I hope you don't mind because I wanted some of the other folks that maybe don't have a mask or didn't buy one or didn't get one sent to them. So I'm sorry. Look, and I know some of you are going to be like, oh, wait, but what about me? What about this? This can't be a continuous thing. This is why I asked for the roll call on Discord. This is why you got to be active on Discord because you miss out. Jeremy, I see him. He's saying, add me. Now, look, I might make an exception and make one more before I leave, Jeremy. But you'll be the last one. I can't have somebody join 3 months later and be like, I'm a vet. Send me a pat. That's not how this works. It was for Veterans Day for the vets that did the roll call. But PayPal Pete, you're my guy. You know that. So I'm going to add you. There'll be 11 that go out. Yes, Lord Francisco. Discord is fucking litty, but you got to be active. You miss out on shit, I'm telling you. If you're a member of the Patreon, you need to be active on the Discord because shit goes down and it's good shit, no less. Okay, one other show update we got to get to is, of course, speaking of the Discord, of course, we have our fantasy football updates for Barry on Deck. For those of you that are on the Discord, you know that, yes, Tony, by the way, hold on. Big facts, folks. Big fact alert. I don't even have oh no, what the fuck is happening now? I need a big fact alert because Tony said I'd be banned from Discord day 2. Yes, you 1,000% would. You creepy, dirty, disgusting old man. All right, back to the show. So the Barry on Deck fantasy football updates. Thank you to Jen for putting this stuff together. Here's what we have in the Cowboy Fam League. Over in the East, Chris Davis at 7-3, Cowboy Fam at 6-4, Black Sheep at 5-5, Brian Lamb, my sweet precious Brian Lamb, at 3-7. Robert Jenkins at 3-7. Over in the West, Titan Hugo, my dude, is murking it. 8-2. Keith Sager at 6-4. Better lawn talk guy than Fantasy Football Manager, obviously. Joe Blank sitting at 500. Joe Blank is average in fantasy football. Pink Valkyrie at 5-5, and goddamn, Brandon Martinez is absolutely shitting the bed at 2-8. Brandon, I'm pretty sure Oliver could manage a team to 2-8 in this raggedy ass league. Boy, you are, that's terrible. Over in Clarence's league, Clarence, literally the Pittsburgh Steelers of fantasy football for Barry on Deck. 9-1. BCH 420 sitting at 8-2. Crystal Johnson, aka CC, aka Queen Bee, aka Crystal O. Collins at 3-7. Pink Valkyrie again. Seriously, don't know how she got 2 teams in 2 different leagues. That's uncalled for. But she's 3-7. And then Chris Reyes is at 2-8. And I love that his team name is Love You Blue. But he's at 2-8. He's as bad as Brandon Martinez is. Christopher Mina at 6-4. Daniel Davis at 6-4. Chris Householder at 5-5. So even Jesus can't help him get a winning record in fantasy. And Francisco, the Lords combined, the two Lords of Barry on Deck are a combined 9-11. What does that tell you? Don't be a Lord if you want to win fantasy football. And no surprise, Nick Sharara bringing up the rear at 4-6 in the Clarence Marshall Football League. And lastly, the PayPal Pete League, the Jeremy League, aka the greatest league on the planet. PayPal Pete is 7-3. White Magic is 7-3. Jen is 6-4. Josh, aka 713 Hooligan, is 5-5. And Truck Driver Pookie is 4-6. Over in the West, Walt 6-4. Yours truly is 5-5. I'm making my comeback. I'm on my way to the top. I'm one game out. Uriel Villanueva's at 4-6. Total Dallas 3-7. And Jaime Zapata is 3-7. And let me tell you what. The PayPal Pete West is the NFC East of fantasy football. I don't know if there's a worse division. Like, we have one team with a winning record. Is there a worse division in Barry on Deck fantasy leagues? No, there's not. Look, you got 9-1, 8-2, a couple of 6-4 teams. And then over here, you've got 8-2, 6-4, 7-3, 6-4. We are legitimately the worst division in Barry on Deck football. Legitimately. White Magic said, Jen, did you not change my name? What was it supposed to be, White Magic? Because all caps is the stupidest goddamn name I've ever heard for a fantasy team in the history of fantasy teams, except for Team Pokies and Team Hooligan. Way to not change your name, idiots. Jesus, what are you doing? How do you have a fantasy team? You have all this goddamn time on your hands, and the best you can do is Team Pookie? Fuck. Truck Driver Pookie said, at least I'm not Brandon. That's a fact. That is 1,000% fact. At least you're not Brandon. That would be awful. All right, so there are your fantasy updates for the Barry on Deck Fantasy League. And again, if you wanted in on that, you could have got in if you were on the Discord, if you were on the Patreon. And I had a slide that, I don't know. I had a slide that showed like the Barry on Deck. I don't know what the fuck I've done with it. All my assets. There we go. Boom. Suck it. Yeah. So if you want to get on the league, if you want to get in on the league, go to patreon.com/Barry on Deck. Not only will this allow you to support the show, support me as an independent artist, aka unemployed radio guy. But there's a $5 tier and a $10 tier. You sign up, you get some cool swag. And plus you can do stuff like participate in our fantasy football leagues, where you will not only get some Barry on Deck swag, which I will be giving away, but in the fantasy league, each league winner will be getting a handy dandy Oliver trophy. Yes, Barry on Deck Fantasy Football Oliver's Cup 2020, courtesy of Total Dallas. He went on his own. I mean, he asked, could he use the logo and everything, but Total Dallas put forth his own money to create these championship trophies. So each winner of all three leagues is going to get one of these. Plus, I'm going to send you some swag. I'll probably, now that Daddy has the heat press and the cricket, which is on the floor there, you can kind of see it. I'll probably be making each league winner a custom Barry on Deck Fantasy Football Championship shirt. So it will be a one-of-a-kind for each of you. That was what I decided I was going to do. So the winners will get some cool one-of-a-kind swag that no one else will have, and then plus the trophy, and then maybe a beanie, or I don't know, whatever else shit I have laying around that I've spent money on trying to promote this godforsaken show. All right. So that's your updates. Let's get to the sports, because I know that's why a lot of you are here, is for my awesome, amazing sports updates and takes. Here you go. Chicago Cubs president of baseball operations Theo Epstein steps down. Astros, get on the goddamn phone right now. When you lost Jeff Ludo, when you lost AJ Hinch, Theo Epstein is a championship maker. He took the Red Sox, who could not win a championship, got them to a championship, won a World Series. Took the Cubs, who would suffer the same fate as the Red Sox, basically, and got them to a World Series. If I am Jim Crane and I am serious about continuing my winning ways, I'm calling Theo Epstein ASAP. I don't give a shit who I have to fire within the organization. Do not care. I'm getting him on the phone. And I'm trying to make him an Astro. So, a lot of people in the chat are saying we need last place shirts. So you guys want me to spend money on a bunch of fucking losers. You guys want me to go out and spend $5 on a blank shirt plus waste valuable, precious heat press vinyl on a bunch of fucking losers that don't know how to manage a fantasy football team. I mean, maybe. I don't think they'll wear it, though. That's the problem. Because if I make the shirt for a loser, for a fantasy football moron, for a fantasy football idiot, it ain't going to be pretty. It's literally just going to be the most bluntly mean shirt you've ever seen. And I promise you, they won't wear it. Because it'll be like, I'm a dumb fuck and can't even beat a bunch of other dumb fucks in fantasy football. That's a lot to put on the front of a shirt. But look, I can make one of these now. I only listen to 90s rap, but I wouldn't steal people's ideas. Because that's not how I roll. Eric Resendez with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Eric Resendez in a $5 super chat. I will give a $100 gift card to either Saltgrass or some other place to the best overall record in the fantasy league. Damn. Y'all, this is what I love about you deckheads. You guys are amazingly generous and kind and wonderful to me and to your fellow deckheads. So you guys, there's Eric Resendez. He paid $5 to let you know that he's going to give you a $100 gift card to Saltgrass or another place to the best overall record in the fantasy league. Now, the way we have to do this, Eric, because there might be a tie. If you look back at the you've got an 8-2 there, a 9-1, and an 8-2, and then a couple of 7-3s. It ain't nobody with the 7-3s. If there is a tie, what we're going to have to do is go off of points. So the most points will be the overall winner of all three leagues. And Eric Resendez, you guys heard it here first, just committed to saying he will give a $100 gift card to either Saltgrass or some other place to the best overall fantasy league record. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for stepping up and making it even more fun and putting even more on the line. So y'all bitches better get your shit together. All right? Thank you, Eric. You're the best, man. Eric is so generous. Okay, back to the sports headlines. The Wichita State Shockers' Greg Marshall has resigned after the abuse probe. He said it was best for him and his family and the institution and the athletes. Well, it was probably best for the athletes, but you were just saving face, Greg. Let's be real. You look like a fucking dirty asshole. Kind of like my face. Greg Marshall is the Barry Laminack Beards of basketball coaches. Shitty. This is a really cool thing. The first all-black officiating crew will be working Monday Night Football. It's the Bucks game, I believe. But they have assembled that crew. And what's crazy is right now in these turbulent times that we live in, officiating crews were put together regionally so that the officials could drive if they chose not to fly to get to games to be able to officiate the football games. So this is kind of unprecedented in the pandemic and in general that they've put together an all African-American officiating crew. They're going to bring them from all over, the best of the best. They're going to put them together. So that'll be something historic, which is cool. A Washington football player has tested positive for COVID. That is their first of the season. The Giants Gano test positive for coronavirus. Andre Drummond is expected to exercise his option and stay with the Cleveland Cavs. DeMar DeRozan exercises his option and will return to the Spurs for another season of mediocrity. So go DeMar DeRozan. Good for you, buddy. Sandoval said Saltgrass is the bomb. You know what's crazy, Sandoval and everybody else? I used to be like an Outback Steakhouse fanatic. And I think some of that was because I loved their goddamn cheese fries. So, oh my God. The Outback Steakhouse cheese fries are legitimately the best cheese fries on the planet. They get the fries, and then they get the cheese, and then they get the bacon, and then more cheese, more fries, more bacon, and over. And then the key to a really good cheese fries is the ranch that you get to dip it in. And Outback has some good ranch, gals. So the cheese fries was why I always went to Outback. And I would eat their steaks, and they were pretty good. But then I had a saltgrass steak. Oh, mwah, chef's kiss. And then I had saltgrass chicken. If you've ever had their grilled chicken breast, mwah, chef's kiss. It's tender and juicy, just like I like my women. Okay, that got weird for a fucking minute. Listen, it's good stuff. I really love. I wish Saltgrass would sponsor this show. We've got seafood. We need steak. We need to get all the food categories sponsoring my big fat ass on this show. We need to hit them up for Food of Ages. When I went to spoil Erin, I took her to Applebee's. Jesus, ladies, avoid Tony Garza at all cost. Papa Gino's has gravy fries that are stupid good. I think Shock got those because we've gone to Papa Gino's several times. Their cheesecake has no crust. What does that mean? Is that bad? Is that bad, Aaron? Is cheesecake you can only eat cheese? I don't know. I don't know anything about cheesecake. Justin Swinford said the old cheese fries were fire. These new steak fry bullshit is hot garbage. I haven't been to Outback in literally, and no lie, several years. Once I started eating at Outback, at Longhorn and Saltgrass, Outback became like the Taco Bell of steak places. Seriously. I really think Outback is the fast food of steak places now. For me anyways. So, I haven't been there in a while. But they do their thing, whatever. Bloomin' Onion always have a special place in all of our hearts, right? Remember how, oh man, look what they did with an onion. They fried it. Oh my God, it's so fancy. No wonder they charge us $12 for a fried onion. Think about that for a minute, folks. You're paying how much for someone to take a fucking onion? An onion. My grandmother once gave somebody an onion for Christmas. Have I shared that story with you? Maybe we'll do that when we get into December. But, it's a goddamn onion. It's not a fucking truffle that you had to buy a special dog to go find laying under a tree in the middle of some European bullshit country. It's a goddamn onion that they fry like a piece of chicken. And then, here you go. That'll be $12, please. How much is a bloomin' onion now? I don't even know what a bloomin' onion costs. But I guarantee you it's not cheap. Let's go to Outback's. Here we go. We're getting sidetracked, folks. As we usually do, we're going to get sidetracked here. We're going to pull this out. Let's go to Outback's menu. Do you think they have prices on the Outback Steakhouse? Here we go. How come it's not? There we go. Outback Steakhouse. Let's look at the menu. Let's see just how much a bloomin' onion costs these days, shall we? No, you don't get to get my location, you dirty son of a bitch. 77386. Let's go. Give me the goddamn menu. Order online. Download the menu. What? I gotta download the fucking menu? Oh my God, Outback. Could you make this any harder? Welcome to the 21st century, you dumb bitches. Here we go. Hello, bloomin' onion, right, yeah. That's all, in Peaky Blinders, that's all Tom Hardy did. His whole character was just like, right, yeah, right. That's literally in the script. It's just like, they would just put THR or THY. Right, yeah, right. A bloomin' onion is $8. You seen it right there. $8 fucking dollars, y'all. How much does one onion cost? Let's Google that. How much does an onion cost? Let's go. Walmart's going to tell us how an onion is 62 cents. We are suckers, you guys. We are fucking suckers. We are paying $8 for a 62-cent onion. 8. Do you realize the markup? It's a lot. I don't know math. Even if I had a calculator, I wouldn't know how to figure out what the markup is on a 62-cent onion. An onion costs 62 cents. A bloomin' onion costs $8. You can suck it, Outback. I'm never buying a bloomin' onion again. By the way, I'm saying all this, but you know how much a fucking potato costs to make fries? Literally nothing. If you think about it, we pay so much money on food that we could just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I guarantee you I could Google bloomin' onion. Let's see. Bloomin' onion. This sounds like a Food of Ages segment. Bloomin'. We're way off track, by the way. I'm supposed to be doing sports. We're not doing sports. Who gives a fuck, right? It's Barry on Deck. We got ADD on this show. Bloomin' onion copycat recipe. Oh, look at that. This has a 4.5 rating on, go figure, no less, copycatrecipes.com. Let's pull up this bad boy. There you go, folks. You want to save, $7.38? Boom. Daddy just did it for you. Go to copycat.com and, oh, they burnt the shit out of that. God damn, that thing looks like they left it out in the sun too long. That looks awful. That looks nothing like the Outback bloomin' onion. But apparently, you can do it. All you need, go figure, is a fucking onion and some spices and seasonings. How to prep your bloomin' onion. That's the hard part, is how do you slice that bitch right? But look at this. This literally walks you through step by step, and then you can create the bloomin' onion sauce. The sauce. Oh my God, you make the sauce and you got the onion and oh God. Or you can just buy some sauce. There's pretty much not a secret sauce, right? Look, it says it's the ingredient that gives cocktail sauce its nose clearing ability. What are we talking about? Oh, horseradish. Yeah, that's it. There you go. You're welcome. I just saved you guys tons of money. Nora and I do that all the time. You know the one thing we make at the house, copycat recipe style, that we do a lot is the green sauce from Chewy's. Oh, so good. We'll get cilantro. You get ranch, sour cream, cilantro, and a couple of jalapenos, and we just blend it, and you make the Chewy's creamy jalapeno ranch. And the other thing that we make, I gotta be honest, and I don't know if a lot of you even know about this place, but Chicken Kitchen used to be a thing, especially here in Houston. And Chicken Kitchen has this mustard curry sauce that I would slap the shit out of my mom for a bucket of. I would literally just be like, Jenny, I love you. You know I love you. I need that food though, Jenny. Oh, it's like crack. I might S&D for some fucking Chicken Kitchen curry mustard sauce. Oh my God, it's so good. Ooh. But we learned how to copycat that as well. I'm telling you, man, hit up those copycat recipe websites. They're legit. They legit have like really good recipes. So, all right, way off track. Back to sports, folks. Back to sports. Where was I? I got through all those. Now we need to talk. We need to talk a little Rockets. Chris Reyes says, I can't imagine why your mom doesn't watch anymore. She knows. She's the one that taught me that phrase, Chris. It's good enough to slap your mama. And I'm like, well, you sure about that, Jenny? And listen, that might be the tequila talking. My wife, Aaron Little said, my wife makes Cane's sauce. Can't tell the difference. Bro, hit me with that recipe. Yo, what are you doing? But there is these copycat bottle recipes. If you go to H-E-B for sure, I know they exist. I think I might have one in the fridge, but they sell copycat recipes at H-E-B for like Chick-fil-A sauce. And I believe it's either Zaxby's or Cane's sauce. It doesn't taste 100% the same, but it's not terrible, so it's good, right? Like, I mean, the Chick-fil-A sauce and this sauce is really, really close, but nothing's going to top it. It's like, and I've said this before, and this will probably be a Food of Ages discussion at some point, I'm sure. And if you don't know, Food of Ages is a new show I'm doing with my buddy Mike Liebeshock. It starts tomorrow, November 18th at 7 p.m. on our Facebook page. Just Google or look for Food of Ages on Facebook. Like the page. We're going to go live at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and we will do a 2-hour show, and it's all about food. It's just all about our view of food. We're not experts. We don't know, like, well, if you take a pinch of salt and then you take a 1/4 ounce of olive oil and you mix them together, you can make a gravy. We don't know that shit. We just love talking about food, and that's what we're going to do. And sure, we'll bring in some experts from time to time, but it's two fat guys that like food. How can you go wrong? You son of a... No. Shock's there. He won't allow it. Okay? You asshole Chris Reyes. Somebody ban Chris Reyes from the chat for making all these valid points. I hate his ass. But yeah, anyways, check out Food of Ages. And yes, Chandler, it is only on Facebook, just like Barry on Deck right now is only on YouTube. Between us gals, I am considering doubling down on Facebook because YouTube's growth is really, really slow right now. So I'm thinking about streaming on Facebook as well. I don't know. I'm even thinking about making a Barry on Deck Facebook page, which seems counterproductive. We'll see how it goes. Because marketing YouTube videos on Facebook is not easy. So we're going to check that out. What? Right now? No, not right now. Not right now. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what just happened right there. Josh said, I should have that printed on a pair of boxers. It's not terrible, so it's good. There you go. That's one way to look at it. All right. Okay. Back to the sports. I got ADD today. It's really, really bad, but we need to discuss what's going on with your Houston Rockets. It's 2:43 and we have not talked about the Rockets yet. The Rockets are a goddamn mess. You heard it here first, last, and everywhere in between. Here's the problem with the Houston Rockets. There's a revolt going on, apparently, inside of the organization. And the reason the revolt is occurring, quite simply, James Harden, Russ Westbrook, and several other Rockets players are pretty much disgruntled with owner Tillman Fertitta. If you haven't heard, James Harden had a $50 million a year extension on the table that he declined, that he turned down, that he's... Oh, what the fuck was that? Did y'all hear that beeping? That was weird. Oh, that was the PlayStation cue. Get out of here, loser. Anyways, basically, James Harden turned down $50 million a year for the next 2 years, or a 2-year extension, because he doesn't want to be a Houston Rocket anymore. He's ready to go to Brooklyn. And the reason that people are saying is not because they lost Mike D'Antoni. They lost Tillman Fertitta. What's coming out? Let me explain this. Rockets fans, listen for a second. This is going to hurt your feelings, I think. Some of you anyways. But apparently, if you put 2 and 2 together and you listen to the article that was posted by TMZ, apparently a lot of folks within the Rockets organization are bailing because of Tillman Fertitta. So Rick Bucher on the Odd Couple podcast, and this is according to TMZ.com, but this is what Rick Bucher said about why James Harden turned down his extension, why Russ wants out, why D'Antoni left, why Daryl Morey stepped down. It says, I'm hearing that this is what Rick Bucher said. I'm hearing that Tillman Fertitta's strong Republican support and donations is one of the things that is contributing to this dissatisfaction. There is a revolt here because they look at Fertitta as a guy who supports the current president, aka a guy who supports Trump. So this is going to be a very neutral take on the situation. This is not a political take. This is a sports take mixed with politics. Basically, what you're seeing within the Rockets organization, or what you've seen, is Tillman Fertitta has been a big supporter of the Republican Party and a big supporter of Trump. Right now, our country is going through a political landscape of drawing a line in the sand between hate and non-hate, between ideals that support the exclusion of people and ideals that support the inclusion of people. This is a battle of racism or not racism. Depends on what side you fall on, depending on what you believe. And again, I'm not giving you my beliefs. I'm just telling you where we're at right now in this country. So what happens is this carries over into our sports. And right now, the NBA is very aware of what's taking place in this country, and they are trying to, again, these are opinions and observations, not my beliefs. The NBA is trying to let the players know, and the fans know, and the American people know that they are aware of the social issues that this country faces, and they are sympathetic to the causes of African Americans, minorities, and people of color in this country. At the same time, you've got an owner who is supporting a president who is believed to be, by many people, to be a racist, to be not necessarily a white supremacist, but a guy that won't denounce it. Like, they fall on the wrong side socially, according to many people. So what happens is you've got, stick with me here, and I don't, listen, there's a lot of paragraphs being posted in the chat. I'm ignoring you for a reason, because I'm not going to get caught up in it. I'm trying to explain what's happening here. Based on the situation that this country is in right now, based on where we are at as a nation, lines are being drawn all over the place in the sand. You're either with us or against us. Both sides are saying that. Which means if you're an owner of a franchise that supports a party or a president or a person that would be looked at negatively by by players, by coaches and GMs, things aren't going to go well for you. So let's evaluate this. Let's look at this objectively. Daryl Morey came out in favor of Hong Kong, right? If you remember the big tweet that caused the rift between the NBA and China, that was Daryl Morey falling on the side of justice for Hong Kong, freedom for Hong Kong. Socially pretty liberal in that regard. So he made his case known. This is where I stand. Mike D'Antoni was an advocate for voting, an advocate for change. Obviously, we know where James and Russ and several other of the Rockets players stand on the issue of Black Lives Matter, racial injustice, racial equality in this country. What has happened to the Rockets is they have looked at their owner and they have said, you are on the other side of what we believe in. So for a while, we wondered, why did Daryl Morey step down? Was he tired of it? Was he sick of it? Did he not like it? Remember, Daryl Morey said, I'm going to go explore other opportunities. I'm going to go look at other things. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to spend time with my kid who's in college, who's taking a break. This is an opportunity to be a family man. And within a week, he had another job in the NBA. Within a week, he was with the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, I got a call. They were interested. Here I am. Again, I realize I'm seeing bullshit and other things in the chat. Guys, I'm explaining what's happening. I am not taking a side of this. Don't give me a thumbs down. Don't unsubscribe from the channel. I'm explaining to you what's happening to the Rockets. So Tillman Fertitta takes his stand, supports who he supports. Daryl Morey supports what he supports, believes what he believes. It's obviously not in concert with what Tillman Fertitta supports and believes. Because if it were, one, he wouldn't have stepped down, and two, he wouldn't have taken a job immediately after stepping down from the Houston Rockets. He wasn't ready to get out of basketball. He wasn't tired of basketball. He wasn't burnt out on basketball. The message is clear now. Daryl Morey left because of Tillman Fertitta. That's obvious now because he has a job in the NBA with the Philadelphia 76ers when he had a job with a guy he loved in James Harden right here in Houston. Now let's look at Mike D'Antoni. Socially, Mike D'Antoni was very liberal in his support of Black Lives Matter, the players, African Americans, people of color, and the opportunity to vote. All of a sudden, Mike D'Antoni doesn't want to be a Houston Rocket anymore and leaves. If you think that it was all because of James Harden or Russ or any of those others, I think what we see now, based on this report, based on what we're finding out from Rick Bucher, It sounds to me like, it feels to me like everybody is jumping ship because of this, and it makes sense. You may not like it, you may agree with it, you may disagree with it, but if you just take your politics and set them aside, the rationale of it, making sense of it, is right there. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean I agree or disagree with everybody's decision to want to bail on this franchise. But if you think about it, it makes sense. What it also makes me wonder is, what it also makes me question is, are some of the moves that are being made now to compensate for that because they know? And hear me out. But were the promotions, was the recent hire of an African-American head coach, was this all part of Fertitta's plan to say, okay, I'm losing people because I supported Donald Trump. I probably need to hire some people of color and give them an opportunity. So we'll do that with Silas. I'll do that with my promotions. Is this basketball moves or is this political moves? Not just on one side, on all sides. Is Fertitta playing politics? Is Harden playing politics? Is Russ playing politics? Is D'Antoni playing politics? Is Daryl Morey playing politics? Was all of this because of who Tillman Fertitta supported? If you think about it rationally, it looks that way. And it's a shame, but in a way, as a Rockets fan, I've been wanting them to get rid of James for a long time. Did I want it to end because of political discontent within the organization? No. I wanted the powers that be to wise up and go, we can't win with this guy. But instead, what it looks like is Silas is like, stay. Rafael Stone is like, stay. James is like, not with that dude. Not with Tillman Fertitta at the helm. If you believe what Rick Bucher is telling the Odd Couple podcast, or is saying on the Odd Couple podcast. And if you think about it, if you put two and two together, a lot of this begins to make a lot of sense as to why it all fell apart so quickly. What we thought was, well, Russ can't play with James and James can't play with Russ. I sat here on this show and told you that. It seemed like that. But you know how passionate some of these players are about their politics, about the Black Lives Matter movement, and about making a difference in this country. Would it surprise you that Russ would be as outspoken and as disenfranchised with maybe how Tillman Fertitta is, or politically runs this organization? It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's why Russ wanted out. If you'll recall, a couple of days ago, Stephen A. Smith said or tweeted, yeah, Russ wants out because he can't play with James. They don't get along. And if you'll recall, on his birthday, Russell Westbrook said, look, I shouldn't have to respond to this, and I don't owe it a response, but this couldn't be further from the truth. And if you think about that, and then you read or hear Rick Bucher's statements, then you start to go, maybe Russ is wanting out because of Tillman. Maybe James has declined $50 million a year. He turned down a $100 million extension. On top of the 130 or whatever he's going to make, he could over the next, 4 years, he could have made $250 million almost. But he said, no, thank you. I'd rather be in Brooklyn. Now ask yourself this, Houston. Why? I mean, if you read this, if you listen to this, you may have your answer. And again, I'm not taking a side. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you, if you look at this rationally, I think we have the answers and the reasons as to why this organization is imploding. And it has zero to do with on the court. Zero. P. Jones said certain things aren't for sale. Rachel said, get off politics. Agree to disagree and move on. Again, Rachel, I am not giving political opinions. What I'm talking about is doing detective work as to what's happening. And I understand some of you guys fall on one side of this and some of you guys fall on the other. And I am not making this political, Rachel. It's like y'all don't listen sometimes. I am literally sitting here telling you all I'm trying to do is use deductive reasoning as to figure out what's going on. Not saying it's right or wrong for anyone to move, for anyone to do that. Oh, she said I was talking to the chat. Also hard to tell when you don't read the 100% of the chat. But I just want people to know, I'm not making this about politics. I'm trying to be a neutral observer and tell you what I think might be happening within this organization, right or wrong. So now I think as Rocket fans, we have our answer. But now what we need to discuss next, which we don't have time to do now, but we're going to have more sports on the other side. Now what I think we have to figure out and what we have to openly talk about is, what's the place of politics in sports? I have some thoughts on that. What do we allow and what don't we allow? What's okay and what's not okay? And is there a double standard for players and owners? We need to have that discussion as well. And again, this is not going to be my political views. It's going to be a generic discussion about sports and politics and how they merge. So let's do that after the break. It's 2:57. I owe you guys a break. We're not going to take a full 5 minutes. I've barely drinking this Diet Coke. I really don't have to pee, but let's discuss that. Plus, we also need to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. The Dynamo have a new logo. Have you guys seen it? I have it for you if you haven't seen it. Ooh. Plus, I'm going to help you get unaddicted to porn. We're going to talk about the Xbox. We're going to talk about Pepsi has reinvented the 2-liter bottle. Oh, it's groundbreaking. No, it's not. Plus, I got a bunch more shit planned and we only have an hour to do it. So let's get to this break. Enjoy this video. I don't know who sent this to me or where I found it, but it's from I believe it's the Korean Baseball League. Pretty goddamn funny. We're going to take a couple of minutes to let me go pee, let you go pee. If you got to poop, do it quickly. If you need to smoke a cigarette, go do it and get back here, because we're going to come back in a couple of minutes and continue the discussions on sports and a whole lot more right here on Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
我觉得这是一个非常高水准的表现哦。那不止水准高，不是在这个接球，当然是已经很不简单哦。这个高技术，但是你现在这样子的一个状态，让对方以为是一个全垒打。
Hey, welcome back to hour number 2 of Barry on Deck. I told you it'd be a short break, just 3 minutes, and we're back already. I hope you had time to pee or poop or smoke or whatever it is you do during this 3 to 5 minutes that we take a break from each other to gather our thoughts and collect our Diet Cokes and do whatever else you do. It is you do. So welcome back to the show. Plenty of topics to discuss with only about 59 minutes to do so. Let's get back to this Rockets thing, because we also do need to cover all the trades in the NBA. I have thoughts on all this, but I just wanted to bring up something. There's something on the lens here. Okay. It's been driving me nuts for days. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. We need to discuss for a second, and I'm not going to go into details again. I'm just going to give you some things to think about. When it comes to politics and sports, I think there needs to be some rationale or some discussion about what's okay and what's not okay. It's this weird double standard on both sides. There is a double standard. Burped right when I said that. There is a double standard of politics in sports and sports and politics. Here's what I mean. If you recall a while back, Colin Kaepernick decided to kneel during the national anthem of games to bring attention to police brutality in this country. He was ostracized. He was blacklisted. He was eventually run out of the NFL because of it and never given a job since. By the owners. Fast forward to the current climate in this country. NFL owners are trying to do the right thing by players, by society, what they feel to be the right thing, correcting the wrongs that they feel they may have committed or overlooked when it comes to politics, social justice, and social awareness in the NFL. So that's all predicated on pressure from the players, their product, which are the players, and pressure from society. Now, we find out that an owner has political views and beliefs that he's passionate about and believes in and donates his money to. And the players are the ones in the NBA, at least on the Rockets, saying that's not okay. That's not acceptable. We don't agree with your politics. We're out of here. And I understand that it's politics, but is it any more right for the owners to say that's not acceptable, that's not okay, we don't agree with your politics, as it is for the players to do the same? It looks like that the Rockets' revolt has been predicated by Tillman Fertitta donating to Donald Trump, at which point it appears that Daryl Morey, Mike D'Antoni, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, among others, have said, we can't agree with that and we're out here. And regardless of what side you fall on, regardless of what side you believe in, regardless of what side you think is right or wrong, is it a double standard? Is it okay for the players to say, this is what we're passionate about and this is what we believe in, and we want the owners to comply with it or be okay or assist us with it? But then when the owners have their own political views and beliefs, people bail on them. I'm not saying right or wrong. And I know that there are a lot of people going on in the chat saying a lot of political shit. And here's what I'm going to say. This is not a discussion about politics. So as much as I hate to say this, I look in the chat and I see a post like this where Chris Jones says, shocker, dim cancel culture. Stop making this about your political views and let's just look at it and talk objectively. Stop saying whatever it is you believe in, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a liberal or a conservative, whether you're African American or white. I don't want the political talk and the hatred to happen in the politics or in the chat. What I want is the discussion about the nuance, not the politics, but the situation. So CJ, you know I love you, buddy, but God damn it, man. Chill with it. Because even on Twitter, bro, you follow me around. Every time I say something, C. Jones is up in my kitchen. It's like, you guys can't have a discussion about politics without being political. And it's a possibility if you would just allow it. Because I have my own political views, but I'm not allowing them to come into this discussion. And this is part of the problem we have with these teams and with the owners and with the players and everybody else. So stop attacking each other in the chat. And again, this is the first chat that I saw, but it's the example of what I don't want to occur right now. What we need to be discussing is not what you believe politically, but what's going on in sports. I don't care what you believe. I really don't give a shit what any of you believe politically. The discussion is and should be about how is it affecting sports, not what you believe. Because no one, I promise you, Chris Reyes and Chris and P. Jones and Aaron and House and Clarence, no one gives a shit what you think except the people that believe what you believe. So leave it out of it and let's have rational discussions as adults about what's happening to sports. That's the point anyways. But then obviously we're not going to be able to have that. Cowboy fam, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He said you get paid $1 million to play basketball, not to lean and discuss politics. Ooh, slippery slope though, right? Slippery slope, Cowboy fam. Because while they get paid millions of dollars to play basketball. Is that the shut up and dribble? Is that it? Are they not allowed to have their political views? Is it not okay for players to say we don't agree with Tillman Fertitta? Just like is it not okay for Tillman Fertitta to support politics, political parties, and candidates that he believes in, that he thinks is best for him and his family and his businesses? Here's what it comes down to. And I'm glad you posted that, fam. I'm glad you posted that because this is what it comes down to. Here's where we're at. We're at a point in this country where everybody is so divisive and so black and white. There's no gray, there's no middle ground, there's no compromise, there's no belief in I respect what you believe, you respect what I believe. Now, there's a difference in trying to think of the best way to put this without some of you losing your shit. There's a difference in philosophy when it comes to politics. There's a difference in philosophy between the parties. There's a difference in philosophy in a lot of this. And I think the problem has become most of us in sports and in life and everywhere else, if you don't believe like I believe, you're wrong and you're against me. And that's just not the case. But I think that lines are being drawn in the sand in sports, in politics, in the chat. There's no middle ground anymore. There's just no middle ground. And it's the problem that we face as a nation, and it's a problem that we face as a community, and it's a problem that we face in sports. And again, I haven't taken a side in this entire debate. I have asked you guys not to get your political views involved in the chat. That's all that I'm asking. Apparently, that's a mistake. We have got to be better as adults, man. We just can't have a discussion. If you don't agree with me, you hate me. If I don't agree with you, I hate you. That's where we're at right now. Legitimately, that's where we're at. It's sad. If you don't agree with me, I'm going to never give you a job again. Or if I don't agree with you, you're never going to work in this league again. That's where we're at. If I don't agree with you, I don't want to play for you. I don't want to be here. That's where we're at. That's sad. I digress. I'm moving on. Because a lot of you fail to understand the intent of that discussion. And it's legitimately what's happening in the chat. And I'm sure some of you with the thumbs down, we went from 1 to 3. I hurt some feelings. And it's the exact point I was trying to make. You're not always right. And you're not always wrong. And people are entitled to believe what they believe. And you know what, folks? You know what? 3 thumbs down, folks, and people that are upset. It's okay to like people that don't believe what you believe. That's okay. So you can give me all the thumbs down you want. All I'm telling you is have a little compassion for people on the other side. And I'm talking to both sides. Try to understand what the other side is believing as opposed to shutting them down. You guys are all Dwight Schrute. Shun. That's it. It's sad. It's fucking sad. And I'm so sick of politics. Okay, let's get to something else because, God damn it. Trying to talk to adults about politics is fucking, and asking them to be neutral, no one can be neutral, apparently. Yeah, shun, unshun. That's literally where we're at, Tony. All right, NBA trades. Here is your NBA trades that have existed since the trade rumor mill began. The Pistons are sending, oh shit, I lost hold on. I had my whole link up here where I could give you some of the details about each of the trades, and it is gone. All right, so down at the bottom, starting with the first one, the Pistons are sending Bruce Brown. They're sending Bruce Brown to the Nets in exchange for a cat I've never heard of, Zanan Musa, who was 29th overall in the 2018 draft. Not a big mover, but that was one of the first deals to go down, okay? Then you got the Lakers. Now, this was a pretty interesting one. You got the Lakers trading Danny Green, a 2020 first-round pick, to the Thunder for Dennis Schroeder. Pretty interesting there. It's the Lakers trying to add some depth and get a little bit younger. It's the Thunder trying to really put the rebuild into overdrive. I mean, the Thunder have said, we are 1,000,000% into rebuild. We'll talk about their next trade with the Suns. But moving Schroeder, they're probably going to flip Green. Don't expect Danny Green to be a Oklahoma City Thunder player for very long. They probably flip him to a contender for a pick or a young player. So that's going to happen. But the Lakers add some good quality depth. Lakers trying to be serious because they also lost, or they're going to lose Rajon Rondo, apparently. He did not re-sign with the team. He opted out of his $2.6 million player option. So now you got to fill that role. Schroeder does that. He's also got an expiring deal, so it gives the Lakers a little bit of flexibility after 2021, but at the same time, you're not going to have, you lose a little bit of depth with Rondo, but could you trust Rondo? I did. Anyway, the Suns acquired Chris Paul from the Thunder, as we talked about yesterday, for a slew of players, including Kelly Oubre and, where's this? They get Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, and Jalen Leak in the trade. Suns, I feel like they shipped out a lot of young talent. Ricky Rubio's getting up there in age for an aging guy that may be good for 1 or 2 more years. Now, I will say this that we didn't talk about yesterday. I will say that, look, the Suns are trying to prove to Devin Booker that they're serious and they want to keep him. This is kind of what's going on in Milwaukee as well, which we'll get to those trades in a second. But some of these teams are having to prove that they're stars, that they're serious about winning, and they don't want them to leave or jump ship or bail. So the Suns have said, look, we're going to go out and get you a guy that's a floor leader. And I didn't think about it at the time. But if you think about what the Suns did, and you think about what Chris Paul did in OKC, yesterday, KD said, I could see the Suns getting a 7 or 8 seed. And I was like, nah. But then when you think about what Chris Paul single-handedly did with that Oklahoma City Thunder team on the floor, willing that young, scrappy group to the playoffs, to a really good record. What were they, the 5th seed? It is entirely possible that with help like Devin Booker, that they achieve that or even better in Phoenix. So, KD, I concede to your point. It's pretty valid when you really think about it. If Chris Paul can take a Thunder team with probably less talent overall on it to the playoffs, why can't he and Devin Booker will the Suns team into the 7 or 8 seed? So valid point to KD. It's not something I considered, but after thinking about it, now you do lose some depth with Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio, but you got better. You got a floor general and you got some legitimate help for Devin Booker. So that's your Suns trade. Trailblazers acquire Robert Covington from the Rockets for Trevor Ariza and 2 first-round picks. So the Rockets rebuild has begun. Covington gives the Blazers obviously a 3-and-D guy that's so coveted. The Blazers look like the kind of team that's the direction they're headed with Dame and CJ McCollum being able to shoot and knock down the 3 at will. Dame, one of the better 3-point shooters in the league, just doesn't get the credit for it. But Ariza comes in old but savvy. I wouldn't be surprised if Ariza gets flipped to a contender at the trade deadline if the Rockets are in full-on rebuild mode. But the good thing is that the Rockets get a couple of picks. So it says the Rockets acquire Ariza, who was 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and shot 36% from the 3-point line for Houston in 4 years. And I was trying to see what the picks were. It doesn't say. Yeah, so it doesn't say. Oh, it does, but they get the Rockets do pick up 2 first-round picks, which they need. They don't have. So I was trying to find that. Anyways, on to the bigger trades of the trade deadline or the trade season for the NBA right now. The Bucks go out and acquire Drew Holiday from the Pelicans, and they give up depth to do so. They give up Eric Bledsoe, which was a big part of that lineup. His defense was a big part of that lineup, but Eric Bledsoe out. Who else was gone here? Where did it go? God damn, what is wrong? Oh my goodness. Well, I've lost it. Anyways, you got 3 first-round picks going to Milwaukee as well. I have no idea where it went. So the problem becomes as you get rid of one of your better defenders and shooters, and they talk about the fact that that Bledsoe, if you look, George Hill, I'm sorry, was the other guy. George Hill shot 46% from three-point range, and a lot of people were saying that the Bucks give up George Hill, his three-point shooting. They give up Eric Bledsoe, his defense, his perimeter play as well. You get the 3 first-round picks if you're the Pelicans, and you give up Drew Holiday. The Pelicans got a haul. I mean, this is Anthony Davis level stuff that the Pelicans got for a guy in Drew Holiday that's good, but he's not worthy of Bledsoe, Hill, and 3 first-round picks. The Bucks definitely overpaid, but the Bucks kind of have to overpay at this point. They've got to prove to Giannis that they're serious. So they get rid of defenders. They get rid of a 3-point shooter. They bring in Drew Holiday, who can do a little bit of both. He's an excellent defender. He's a good scorer, not a great scorer. But then they turn around, and to replace George Hill and his outside shooting, they go out and get Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Kings for Defensio, Ilyasova, and Wilson. So they replace some of that perimeter shooting with Bogdanovic. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but, George Hill shot 46%. But if you look at the numbers, he averaged three threes a game, as opposed to Bogdanovic, who shot 37%, averaging 7 threes a game. So give me the guy that shoots 37% and shoots 7 a game versus a guy that shoots almost 50 and only shoots 3. Because you're going to get more scoring out of the guy with the lower percentage. So I think that the Bucks, hear me out on this, folks. I think the Bucks got better defensively. I think they got better on the perimeter. And I think their shooting got better. But most importantly, they showed Giannis Antetokounmpo that they're serious about winning and they want to re-sign him. The only drawback to me that the Bucks had about this, 1, they overpaid for Drew Holiday, severely overpaid for him. And 2, their depth has been depleted. This was a deep team, but they had problems in the playoffs. Their offense got stagnant. The depth really didn't help because they couldn't score. They couldn't stop people. Even though defensively, there's a really good Bucks team. So I think they win the trades even though they overpaid, only if, and this was a point that several other people made, so I'm no basketball genius here, but they only win this trade if Giannis resigns. But if he bails on this organization at the end, now you overpaid for Drew Holiday. You got a little better perimeter shooting in the grand scheme of things overall in points produced from your 3-point shooting. But you did all that at the cost of losing Giannis still. So this trade, there's no clear winner yet. I think the real winner will be determined based on what Giannis does. If he stays a Buck, Milwaukee wins the trades. But if he leaves, they gave up depth and some other things in the future in an attempt to prove to Giannis that they were serious about keeping him. Total Dallas said, look at the West and who was out, but likely in this year. Warriors, Pelicans, Suns, Grizzlies. Yeah. Tony said, any scenario we get LeBron, Giannis, and Durant on the Rockets. Oh, yeah. No, Tony. Kennedy said, if the Rockets don't get expiring contracts and at least 5 to 6 draft picks with letting go of James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they failed. Think about this. If Drew Holiday nets you Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and 3 first-round picks, that's what the Bucks gave up to get Drew Holiday? If that's what that nets for Drew Holiday, James Harden better net a goddamn windfall of players. And the other thing is Brooklyn is like, nah, fam, because y'all know James wants to go play with the Brooklyn Nets or Philly. Philly is in a better position to be able to provide the Rockets what they're looking for than Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is said to be kind of softly discussing it with the Rockets. But even some of the Nets players, when talked to by sources within the Rockets organization and out of James Harden's camp, they reached out, hey, how would you feel if James was a Net? Apparently, some folks within the Brooklyn Nets organization are like, not great. I think James has sullied his reputation a little bit in the NBA. I think it's very possible that a lot of people don't want to play with James. Not just superstars, but role players. Look at the problems he had with Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker and some of the other folks that left. When the Clippers-Lakers trade happened for Chris Paul and you lost Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell and Pat Beverly to the Clippers, you could tell the animosity and hatred that they had for the Rockets. Some of that maybe because they got traded. I always got the feeling that some of it was they didn't like James because of his attitude and the way that he's done the franchise. So Nets may be like, yeah, we're good, fam. We can win with these two guys and some good role players. Philly, I think, though, is your best bet to get a trade done. Mike D'Antoni, Daryl Morey. You got Doc Rivers. People love to play for him. Oh, no, where did D'Antoni go? D'Antoni went to Brooklyn, my bad, which is why I think James would want to go to Brooklyn. But he would want to go to Philly because of Daryl Morey. He loves those guys because those guys love him. Brooklyn, not so much playing nice with Houston. Daryl Morey might trick the shit out of Houston, but I bet he's willing to move a big man if that's what James wants. I think James might want Joel Embiid to stay with the Sixers. It might be a Ben Simmons type thing where the Rockets get a Ben Simmons as opposed to Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid can knock down the three, but you can play the pick and roll game with him as well. It's a lot more versatility for the style of offense that they may be looking to run with James on that team. So I could see where James would say, I want to play with Joel Embiid and not Ben Simmons. So if I'm going to be traded to Philly might be like, all right, we'll give you picks, we'll give you Ben, we'll give you some depth. And if you're the Rockets, do you take that and flip Ben and do a rebuild a la Oklahoma City? Or do you say, all right, we're going to try to build around a guard that can't shoot? If I'm the Rockets and you do that deal, my first thing is, Ben, you're going to have to play post. We can't put you on the perimeter to shoot. You're awful, obviously. So you got to convince Ben Simmons to be a low post player, and now you got to completely revamp your roster to do that. Rockets have a mess, man. They have an absolute mess. So there's your trade deadline updates, or your trade updates, your NBA trade updates. I haven't seen anything new come across. I could be missing it, of course, because obviously I'm doing the show. But on the trade tracker that I'm following, that's the latest and greatest. So there you go. All right, couple more things to get to because it's been very sportsy except for the Outback Bloomin' Onion talk. Baseball Hall of Fame ballot is out. Oh, that's not it. Here you go. Baseball Hall of Fame ballot is out. And some of the names on the list you've seen before, they're back again. Curt Schilling, Roger Clemens, and Barry Bonds are all leading candidates on the ballot to potentially get in, which we're in the meat of the steroid era when it comes to the Baseball Hall of Fame. We are in the meat of the steroid era, and this is going to be interesting to see how some of these cats, if they get on. You've got Schilling, Bonds, and Clemens. You've also got Sammy Sosa, Manny Ramirez. A lot of these guys on the list. So I pulled up this website from Bleacher Report. And Bleacher Report has some really good info on it. I can give you the link if you want it. But it says the obvious one and done newcomers. This is to the ballot. So you got A.J. Burnett, Michael Cudyer, Dan Herron, LaTroy Hawkins, Nick Swisher, Shane Victorino, and Barry Zito. None of those guys are getting in the Hall of Fame. This will probably be their only opportunity on the ballot. None of them will get past this year. Here are the names that this says has a, quote, long way to go. Some of these I agree with. Some of these I think shouldn't have a long way to go. But this is a literal who's who of steroid era baseball, outside of the three that we just discussed in Bonds, Schilling, and Clemens. This is the list, and this is what it says. The following 7 players received enough votes last year to hang around on the ballot, but the gap between their total votes and the total votes needed, which is over 70% for enshrinement, is pretty significant. Todd Helton, 29%. Manny Ramirez, 28%. Jeff Kent, 27%. Andrew Jones, 19%. Sammy Sosa, 13.9%, so 14. Andy Pettit 11%, and Bobby Abreu 5%. Abreu ain't making it. But then after that, listen to those names again. If you follow baseball during this era, listen to the names that I just read you. Todd Helton, Manny Ramirez, Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, Sammy Sosa, and Andy Pettit. In the heart of that era, before the Balco investigation and steroid abuse became a scarlet letter in MLB, those names, most of them seemed like surefire Hall of Famers. Todd Helton for sure. Manny Ramirez. Jeff Kent, second base, one of the most prolific hitting second basemen in baseball history. Andrew Jones. Sammy Sosa. Are you the McGuire-Sosa thing? A lot of people said saved baseball. Andy Pettit, one of the most dominant pitchers of his era. The problem is, a lot of those cats put up their numbers, but almost legitimately every single one of them was tied to steroids in some way, shape, or form. So they've all got uphill climbs. It's going to be a long way to go. And depending on how much time they have left on the ballot will also determine whether they're going to be able to make it or not. So then this link says the cream of the crop of the newcomers. Mark Burley, who was a pitcher for the White Sox forever. Tim Hudson, Torrey Hunter, and Aramis Ramirez. I think the only name on that list that has a chance to make any waves going forward is Torrey Hunter. I think the rest of them, including Mark Burley, the problem was he never was legitimately considered a top flight pitcher. I mean, Mark Burley was like a rich man Shane Reynolds in a lot of ways, if you're a Houston baseball fan. So I think Torrey Hunter's the one name that might stick defensively. He was amazing. He could hit a little bit. He had some speed. But I don't even know that he'll get into the Hall of Fame. The holdover is trending in the right direction, according to this. Scott Rowland, Billy Wagner, Gary Sheffield. I think those last two names for sure. I think outside of St. Louis, a lot of people admire Scott Rowland, but if you really know baseball, Scott Rowland was a hell of a third baseman. Billy Wagner should be in, and so should Gary Sheffield. My opinion. And then it says legitimate candidates. Omar Vizquel. Amen. Yes. Barry Bonds. No. I mean, yes, but no. He's at 60%. I'm torn on Bonds because of the steroids, but I still stand by the fact that Barry Bonds was a 5-tool player before he cheated. Barry Bonds was a legitimate 5-tool outfielder before he started using steroids. Before. So I'm torn. I don't want to celebrate cheaters and reward them, but can you guarantee me that Barry Bonds wasn't going to put up prolific numbers anyways? I don't think anybody can. And the last one they have is Roger Clemens and Curt Schilling are legitimate Hall of Fame contenders. Here's my last thing on this before we move on. If those guys get in, if Barry Bonds, Curt Schilling, and Roger Clemens actually make it in, then the rest of that list that I read you that included Todd Helton, Manny Ramirez, Sammy Sosa, you should see a significant bump because we're getting some of these new writers in that weren't around for the steroid era, so they look at it and go, yeah, but at least they didn't bang on trash cans. I think as slowly as we get further away, you're going to start to see more of those guys get in, the more of these old-ass baseball writers die off. So we'll see. But there's your baseball. And then the last thing we need to discuss in sports, which, man, what a sports-heavy show it was today, but I'm here for it. We talk politics and food, too. Here's your new Dynamo logo, folks. Yay! Your new Houston Dynamo Football Club, your new Houston Dash logo. Here it is. They're going with the hexagon thing. This is their thing now. I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, I will say that they hired someone locally. I believe it was a minority-owned business to help them design the logo, which hats off to the Dynamo for their inclusion. The hexagon logo was there because it represents, the 6 sides represent the 6 wards of Houston. Okay. But the DH looks a lot like Donnie Houston's logo too. I feel like they stole my boy Donnie Houston's logo. If you've seen Donnie Houston's logo, very similar. And hell, who knows? Maybe they didn't. But there's a lot of logos that have a similar design like that. And I'm not so sure that they couldn't have been more creative. Now, I will say this. Damn it, I'm trying to find Donnie Houston's logo. Because this is a goddamn direct ripoff. Here we go. Oh, no, that's not it. Damn it, where's the Donnie Houston swag? If y'all don't remember who Donnie Houston was, he's the one. Remember that white girl that was like, oh my God, this slowed and reverb music is amazing. And then the internet was like, you dumb bitch, that's called Screwed and Chopped. And you are idiot. And then Donnie Houston had her on his podcast and talked about and educated her on DJ Screw. Well, this is Donnie Houston's merch. You tell me, does that look familiar? Huh? Are we seeing any similarities between the Houston Dynamo logo and my guy Donnie Houston's logo? If I'm Donnie Houston, I'm pissed. I'm like, really, bro? Unless Donnie Houston was the guy that designed it. But come on, man. Y'all just straight up jacked my dude's logo. Unbelievable. Dynamo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Also, it's kind of like San Diego Padres, and I think James Harden's, several other logos have that look and feel to it. But I mean, legitimately, these are the same goddamn logo. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yo, that looks oddly familiar. That's because my boy Donnie Houston had that. I don't like it. I like the other Dynamo logo way better. With the little lines and shit. I don't know. That's just me. Tony doesn't like it. He said he's selling his tickets. So, yeah. Look at that. That's spot on. Juan Gonzalez says, Donnie did a 3rd-part interview with SPM. I listen to him pretty regularly. Thanks, Barry. That's dope, Juan. That's a lot of the reason why I like having some of these people on that maybe you guys don't know about. I think there's some Kiki Maroon fans now. There's some Donnie Houston fans. That's part of the reason why I bring some of these cats in. Chef Machete, is I want you guys to be exposed to some of these folks and maybe you become fans of them. So I'm glad to hear that, Juan. But yeah, pretty spot on. Pretty obvious that they stole my boy Donnie Houston. I need to ask him about that and see what he thinks. Okay, we need to talk some non-sports. It's about that time. And before we do that, though, I do want to tell you folks about the great seafood that is available to you from Crab Kings. If you want some of the best seafood in the city of Houston, oh my God, you need to get out to Crab Kings right now. 3 locations to serve you in and around the city of Houston. If you are in the city of Houston, head on over to 6600 Antoine Drive in Houston. If you're in Stafford, they are off of Avenue F. And if you are in Deer Park, they are on Center Street. Now, folks, these are the only 3 Crab Kings locations that support Barry on Deck. So if you're going there to help support the show and to get delicious seafood, these are the 3 locations that support the show. Houston off of Antoine, the Stafford off of Avenue F, and Deer Park location off of Center Street. So if you're somewhere else at a Crab Kings other than Antoine, Avenue F, or Center Street, I'm sure it's good, but they are not sponsors of Barry on Deck. So let's be clear on that. But let's talk about the food for a second. The boudin balls, the shrimp, the snow. I had the snow crab and shrimp platter a couple of weeks ago on this show, and oh my God, it is so amazing. So delicious. If crawfish is in season, then they're going to have crawfish for you, and you're going to absolutely appreciate it. If you have a big family to feed, make sure you check out the loaded platter. Feeds 3 to 4 easily. And don't take my word for it. Chris Reyes, absolutely delicious. Rachel says, yep, now you got to always take me. Guys, the food is amazing. You're going to love it. And thank you to Chris and Rachel for supporting Crab Kings and supporting Barry on Deck. All right. Sports is out of the way. Politics is out of the way. Let's shoot some shit. Not like actually shoot. I wonder where that came from. I wonder where the turn of phrase shoot the shit. I know there's an origin story to that. But it's a very redneckish southern phrase that I remember my mom and dad using. Well, we're just over here shooting the shit. Don't know what it means. I'm sure there's a neat story behind it. Okay, let's talk Pepsi for a moment. They've reinvented the 2-liter bottle. Who needed this in their life? Well, Pepsi decided you did. Pepsi decided that you needed a better 2-liter bottle to hold, and that's why they have the design that they have. They actually made it easier to hold in your hand. because apparently we're all running around with these tiny ass baby hands, unable to hold a 2-liter bottle with 2 hands to pour it. I don't know why this became an issue. Most people pour a 2-liter bottle the same way, right? If this is the 2-liter bottle, you take the cap off, you grab it up top, you grab it at the bottom, you pour it. Why is this a big fucking issue, Pepsi? Why do we need to be able to just hold it at the bottom and pour? I don't understand it. Bye, PK. Love you, boo-boo. It's for people to just sit and drink a 2-liter. Who's sitting around drinking a whole 2-liter of soda? That's a lot of soda. Okay, I drink a lot of soda. I probably drink, I don't know. I'll have 1 prior to the show, 2 during the show, and at least 5 after the show. How many is that? 8 a day? I don't know. That's probably 2 liters. But it's not all like sitting down. It's over the course of the day. God damn. Anyways, Pepsi says they've also reduced the amount of label that they use, so that cuts down on consumption in that regard. They're pretty proud of it. They've when you unveil a new bottle design, you're pretty pumped about it. It says the modern, functional, and easy to use bottle makes it easier to pour. That's it. That's what they're basing this on. They said it's the future of 2 liters, and that the redesign makes it substantially easier for consumers to grab bottles off the shelf and to pour at home. And it says the new bottle is part of Pepsi's intentions to convert its packaging to be 100% recyclable, compostable, and biodegradable within the next 5 years. 24% less material compared with previous iterations, and the grip use existing manufacturing capabilities to prevent additional plastic use. So there is a reason behind it other than just the grip. Ripping and farting. I'm just like, that's become news now. Like, this is in a day where there was a lot of shit you had to figure out what to talk about. Pepsi was leading the way in some places with this. I mean, I like the look. It's about time we updated it. There's nothing wrong with it. They were pretty proud of it, though. All right, I digress. Hey, if you're looking to get an Xbox or a PlayStation like me, chances are you may not really be able to get an Xbox until April of 2021. And I'm feeling like that's going to be the same thing for the PlayStation. So Xbox, it says, I think we'll continue. So this is a chief financial officer of Xbox, Tim Stewart. He said, I think we'll continue to see supply shortages as we head into the post-holiday quarter. So Microsoft's Q3, calendar Q1. And then when we get to Q4, which is calendar Q2, all of our supply chain continuing to go full speed heading into kind of the pre-summer months. And that's where I expect to see a little bit of the supply profile meeting the demand profile. So long story short, is they're trying to make as many as possible, but it's not going smoothly because the demand is far outweighing the supply. Here's why. And they mentioned a little bit in this article. Oh, and by the way, Junior, my bad. I totally missed your super chat. I saw it. I was in the middle of a political rant, or not a rant, but discussion. And I didn't show my brother-in-law's super chat. Where the fuck did it go? My goddamn chat. Anyways, basically what Xbox is saying, and the makers of Xbox, Microsoft, is that there are more people now. There are more people playing video games now than have ever played before. When you think about it, there are more people that are streaming. There are more leagues. There are more wannabe streamers. There are more people who are into video games. Not only that, more of us are staying home and looking for things to do. So a lot of people are playing video games. And that's really caused an increase in demand. Everybody's on Twitch. Everybody's trying to be entertaining. Everybody's playing video games. And that's why, because I'm like, why can't you just make as many as there are? There are hundreds of millions of players between Xbox and PlayStation, I assume. Just make that many. And then I started to think about, too, from a business perspective, if I'm being honest. Businesses are probably smart to say, all right, we're going to make 1 million PlayStations. We're going to make 1 million Xboxes. We're going to sell those. So instead of outlaying the cash for 50 million Xboxes and 50 million PlayStations, which now we're sitting on that inventory and we're out that cash flow, we'll make 1 million. We'll sell them like that. We'll recoup the profit immediately. And then we can use that profit and that initial investment to make the next batch. And then with that profit and that initial investment, we'll make the next batch. And we'll keep doing that. That way we don't outlay the cash for all of the orders at once. Now, you could have done a lot more pre-orders and paid for it that way, almost like crowdfunding. But they didn't do that. That kind of made sense to me that, oh, that's why you can't always get one. They're not going to go out and make the inventory for everybody. They'd be sitting on product with no cash flow. So from a business perspective, that makes sense. And Junior, thank you, buddy. Love you to death. I hope you guys are safe up there. Be safe out there on the streets. And thank you for the super chat. I did not mention it earlier. And it is always wonderful to have you here, too. It's the only family that shows up and supports me. This is Nora's family. That's so great. He said, who drinks Pepsi besides North Korea? I don't know anybody that drinks Pepsi. I really don't. I think Pepsi is more of not a North Korea thing, but like an East Coast thing. I think Northerners, maybe Midwesterners, and East Coast people drink Pepsi. Everybody else, Southerners, West Coast, West Coast drinks water and fucking bubble tea or whatever bullshit hippie shit they drink. The rest of us drink soda like Coke and Dr. Pepper. In fact, most people just call it Dr. Pepper, even when we mean Coke. House, it looks like, said that PlayStation should be available December. Don't hold your breath. Northerners drink pop. That is true. Hey, bring me a pop. How about you stop being fucking weird and just call it I don't know. I'm torn between calling it a soda and a pop. It's weird. Rach said Mountain Dew fan. I'm not a Mountain Dew hater. D-Mata says I drink Pepsi. Only somebody that would use all caps would drink Pepsi. Coincidence? I don't think so. Did you notice that Diet Coke has lowercase letters in it, but Pepsi doesn't? Pepsi's all uppercase. That's because Pepsi... Oh, look, it's all lowercase. Fuck. Happy birthday, D-Mata. Anyways, I don't think we're going to be able to get a PlayStation or an Xbox until next year. I think with the Christmas demand, it's going to be hard again. It sucks. Clarence said, Barry, GameStop will have a very few limited PS5 and Xboxes on Black Friday. So in other words, we ain't getting one, Clarence. I ain't getting one. I've resigned to that fact. I just had to order a new PlayStation controller for my PS4. At this point, even if I could get a goddamn PlayStation 5, I just had to shell out $65 for a new controller. If I was in that queue and it popped up, I totally would have still bought it and then probably just returned that controller. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I just want it. But then after KD and P. Jones said the graphics were, I was like, no, wait. I'm not as dire in dire need to get it now. All right, here is your... Oh, no, I don't want to do that yet. I might save that for tomorrow. Because I promised you guys in the tease and on the thumbnail that I would help you kick your porn habit. And God damn it, I'm here to please. Wait a minute. That was a bad choice of words talking about porn. Here are some ways if you have a porn addiction, and a lot of you do, you just won't admit it. A lot of you are addicted to porn. By the way, House and I last night had a late night Call of Duty session. He couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. We were playing Warzone. Lana Rhodes, who apparently is not only a porn star, but a gamer. I think she was in our lobby, but House said it sounded like a dude's voice. Maybe she just smokes a lot, House. You don't know? Also, I thought it was Ralphie May's wife, and that's two completely different things. House immediately knew that it was a porn star. I thought it was a dead comedian's wife. That shows you where he's at in his life and where I'm at in my life. Back to the porn addiction. Here's some ways in which you can kick your porn habit. A lot of this is according to Megan Fleming, who is a sex expert for Love Honey. I need to try to get Megan on the show. I think that would be a good get. Let's go to Love Honey And let's try it out. Oh my God. What website is the Sexual Happiness People? Wow. That's a huge, big old black dong. Wow. My goodness. That looks like a weapon. That looks like a policeman's nightstick. What is that? Whew, man. That's scary. That thing looks like it's used to check ears, not a sex toy. I don't know. Should we go to this website? This is probably going to get me kicked off YouTube. But I just went to this doctor's website. Well, I guess she's the sex expert for Love Honey. Has anyone ever been to the Love Honey website? Anyone? Has anyone ever gone to the Love Honey website? Because apparently they make Adam and Eve look tame. Here you go. Don't hate me, YouTube. Look at that. That's a goddamn weapon. I know a boomerang when I see one. I know a policeman's nightstick when I see one. That's a massive weapon. You got sex toys? That says that's a sex toy. I'm pretty sure that's what the doctor uses to check my ears. 90% sure he puts that in the ear and then he looks and goes, yeah, you can probably hear. So there's that. There's your handcuffs. Wow. Okay. That thing was scary. All right. How do you get unaddicted to porn? This is for all of you out there that are wondering, and Megan Fleming, the PhD, is going to help you. I seriously need to write that down. I need to try to get it. I've been looking for a sex expert and a ghost expert. By the way, since my ADD is bad today, I reached out to one of the guys from Ghost Hunters. He hasn't responded. We'll see. Megan Fleming. I'm going to reach out to Megan and see if I can get her on the show. Of Love Honey. That'll be a fun time. All right, here's how you kick your porn habit, you dirty, nasty bitches. First thing it says is get clear on what you're trying to avoid. Usually watching a lot of porn isn't about porn. It's about something else that's going on in your life. Sometimes it's just about titties. It says often porn is substituted for something, taking your attention from something or preventing you from something, meaning it's getting in the way of your life or your in real life relationship. If you're using porn as a way to self-medicate or numb out, it's important to get clear on what you're distracting yourself from. So what they're saying is a lot of times you sit down at your computer and you're like, okay, I need to plan a show for the day. Pornhub.com. They're just saying you're probably using it to distract yourself. So figure out why you're distracting yourself and address that. The next one, substitute in another behavior that has a similar effect. So they're saying people watch porn and masturbate as part of mood regulation. And while masturbation can decrease tension and anxiety, so can cardio. So basically, what Ms. Fleming is saying, what Dr. Fleming is saying, what Megan Fleming is saying is instead of jerking off, go for a jog. No, fam, I can't. Listen, the payoff between the two is completely different. Completely different. They also suggested get a porn blocker on your computer. Get a porn block. It says Fleming recommends an accountability program like a porn blocker. Every porn blocker is going to come with one key feature, the ability to disable it. And when you're ready to be like, well, it's time to spank it. Oh, I got a porn blocker on here. How do I get rid of it? Disable, delete, fuck this porn blocker. It's going to happen. Those don't work. While I agree with some of these other things, maybe not going for a jog, maybe finding something else to distract you like video games, maybe that would be better than porn. But a porn blocker, I had, one of my problems is focus. When I sit down at the computer, I'll end up like, okay, I need to sit down and make a new show intro. I need to sit down and do X, Y, and Z. I end up with 9,000 fucking tabs open. I'm all over the place. I got porn. I got videos. I got this. I got all this shit going on and I get nothing accomplished, yet I'm doing everything. So one time I was like, there's this like cold turkey app or these other apps. Yeah, like Cece said, an accountability app. There's like all these apps you can install. Guess what I did, Cece? I'm like, I'm going to put cold turkey on here. It's not going to allow me to go to Facebook. So you know what I did? Because like that's the other problem is social media distracts me. So I'll sit down. I'm like, okay, start. And then I'm like, oh, fuck it. And I get my phone and then I get on Facebook on there. And then if it gets real bad, I just disable the goddamn accountability app. It comes down to self-discipline. That's literally what all this comes down to. Self-discipline. It says, join an online or in-person community for folks who want to quit watching porn. In other words, go to church, people. It says, ask yourself what else you'd rather be doing with your life in the time you spend watching porn. I think I can answer that for most of us. Having sex. Yeah. I think that most of us watching porn, the only thing we'd rather be doing than watching porn is being in porn. Like legitimately not even necessarily having sex, but it's like if I'm watching porn, I either want to watch the porn or make the porn. That's it. Ask yourself what you'd rather be doing with your life. What are you talking about? Not jogging. Tell you that much. The fuck are you talking? What do you mean? What would you rather be doing than the pleasure of an orgasm? Does not compute, Megan. Does not fucking compute. The last one said, look at what besides porn turns you on. I don't even get that. I'm trying to process in my head what turns you on besides porn. It's not the porn that turns you on. It's the ass or the titties or the whatever it is. The penis, the two chicks, the bondage. If you were on the show last night that I did with Kiki, the feet, the belly button. It's whatever it is that turns you on. It's not necessarily the category of porn. It's the actual porn that turns you on. So if you're turned on by bondage, what are you going to are you going to learn to box? I only want to fight women though, because that turns me on. So my advice to you, if you want to kick your porn habit, it's real simple. And we got to get out of here in just a second. Let's be serious for a second, folks. Porn is an addiction for a lot of you. And I understand that. And so is sex. So my advice for kicking your porn habit is real simple. And I thought about this and I wrote them all down. The first thing you need to do to kick your porn habit is cancel your internet. The second thing you need to do is cancel your cell phone. The third thing you need to do is move to an area of the country or on the planet where there is no internet available. The fourth thing you need to do is move to an area of the country or the planet where there's no cell phone service available. And the fifth thing you need to do to cancel your porn habit is to find someone that will actually have sex with you. A lot. That's my list. I didn't write that shit down. I'm just making that shit up as I go. You know what? I don't give a fuck. If you want to jerk off. Who gives a shit? Just don't let it get out of control. Don't get caught. Don't do it in a goddamn Walmart parking lot. Other than that, do what you want. Do what makes you feel good. You only get one life. You like having sex with yourself? Do it. I mean, you should probably try it with somebody else every now and then. Who am I to judge? Junior said, so move to Siberia. Yeah. There's be a bunch of little holes in the snow everywhere Junior was, just having sex with the snow. Look, the snow's all polka dots. No, that's Vincent Lucio down there banging it out with the snow. All right, guys, that's the show. I hope you had fun. Sorry we can't have an adult discussion about politics without people freaking the fuck out. Sorry to the 3 thumbs down. To those I say, go fuck yourself. You can't have an adult discussion and not get your feelings hurt. That's on you. To the rest of you, I love you to death. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the show what it is every single day. It's because of you this thing exists. So until tomorrow, need you guys to do me 3 favors. Be safe. Be kind. Most importantly, for the love of God, love each other. Please. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Stop watching porn. Dirty, dirty people. Daddy's making a YouTube video!